Dirt, it's all over the place. Fortunately, there are bikes built just for it. But wait, because this is a feature rundown video, we'll get back to this in just a moment, but first, let me talk about where we're at. On the backside of the trails I ride, they're starting to build a series of dirt jumps and eventually a pump track, making these piles of dirt a fitting spot for this bike sold at Walmart, the Mongoose PT26. Dirt jumper styling with this beautiful copper frame and a trim level that's very consistent, like the silver bars and black components. Also, want to note, this M&G that I've seen on previous Mongoose bikes, initially I thought this was a sub-brand, turns out M&G is just an abbreviation for Mongoose. Clever. This is my first pump track bike. That's not my riding style, but from an aesthetics point of view, it definitely looks cool. And seems to have all the elements it needs to be a good dirt jumper bike, like the dirt jumper bars. I measured these at slightly under 700mm. Now they are steel, not an aluminum alloy, and they're mated to a stem that's black and totally 80s cool. This blockiness would look super cool on a vintage mountain bike. Grips are slip-ons with the classic Mongoose honeycomb pattern and a BMX flare. The brake lever is cheap. It's the plastic Power branded that we've seen on sub $99 bikes, at least before inflation took over. And yes, there is only one. Moving down past the Zero Stack headset to the steerer tube, which has a unique dual taper. It tapers out, but then at the bottom right back in. Now, I'm not sure if this is done for styling or if there's a reason for this design, but it does look good. And out of it comes the suspension fork with a unique amount of travel, at least for forks on this channel. 50mm. And there's no mistaking, this is definitely a big box fork, but on the big box fork spectrum, the support arch is a bit thicker. The stanchion tubes are painted silver to match the handlebars. Branding, it gets twice, PTT suspension forks and Element. The front wheel is bolt-on, which I did a quick scout to see affordable pump track bikes, and most of them did have bolt-on wheels, though I see some of the expensive dirt jumpers now have through axle. Wheels feature Element branded double wall alloy rims, and these are 26-inch wheels with tires that are 26 by 2.30, and on Walmart's site they call these massive. Dirt-friendly knobbies and gray sidewalls. Those sidewalls blend in well with the silver handlebars and silver suspension fork. You know, I like the little touches, and it tells me that whoever designed the PT26 put some thought into a theme. Even the graphics reference the silver, gray, and black over the copper frame, and that frame, it's a steel frame. 13-inch. The copper color, the camera doesn't do it justice. It is absolutely stunning in person, and all the graphics, they're stickers. So fans of stealth bikes should be happy. Down at the drivetrain, there are the usual plastic Mongoose pedals, and those are fit to a crankset that's a 1x. It's single chainring, a 38 tooth. Wrapped around the works, a smoke plastic chain guard. This crankset, it's all steel, from the chain ring to the 170mm crank arms. I've already mentioned steel at least 4 times, and that equals a heavy bike at 36 pounds. Build quality, overall good, though the welds do look sloppy in places. We already know this is a 1x up front, and there's only one gear at the back as well, because this is a single speed, and that gear is 18 tooth. The rear is also the location for the other one on this bike, and that's the brake with its single 160mm mechanical disc. Proof that brakes vary depending on the platform. In mountain biking, we can't get enough. Dirt jumpers use a single brake at the rear. Fixie riders go for a single up front, or maybe even none. There is a quick release seat post clamp for this 25.4mm steel seat post, and on top of that, the saddle. The printed crown design pattern, a 9. Comfort level 1. And so you know this is a bike from Walmart. It comes with a kickstand that I'm sure will get removed by most PT26 owners. The copper color, undeniably attractive, and for $248, I think this may be among the most affordable pump track bikes. And that gets us back here to our dirt jumper-ish mounds, where I rounded up a rider that's done some dirt jumping in the past. Which calls us back to the beginning of this video when I said that this was a feature rundown and not so much a ride video. And that's because A, Techpocalypse, where I lost all the footage that I'd filmed of him riding, and B, it was so muddy the day we filmed. This is his first rollover a mound just to make sure he could stop. At the end of it, there was so much mud, you could see the mud on the bike tires. Remember, these were designed for dirt, not mud, which I'm sure quickly added to the weight of this already 36-pound bike, but what I can do is tell you his initial impressions. Bars, he said, were just about right, width and height. Drivetrain, quote, smoother than expected. Complaints, there were 2. One, that the steel frame and the fork were heavy and that was quickly noticeable when riding the bike. but that it was usably balanced. And 2, that the rear brake was not very effective at stopping the bike, and I've talked about that before here on this channel. These generic disc brake systems, performance can vary from bike to bike, even of this same model. If I ordered another one of these, it might stop on a dime. I'll clean and rebed these pads, and we'll see what it does on a second go. And there were also a couple of out-of-the-box issues that were due to shipping damage. Number 1, the fork dropout was bent out on the right side. Not enough that I couldn't get the wheel bolted on, but it did cause a little bend. And that bend was a result of the front wheel being wedged into it, which also bent one of the spokes. And I know some of you eagle-eyed viewers probably spotted this right away. Most of this is on the shipping carrier, but I will say there wasn't a lot of packing material in with this bike. So be sure if you buy one of these bikes, or any bike and it's shipped, inspect it well. In all, my test rider said that this could be made to work as a pump track bike, but it did take a lot of effort to throw it around in the air. $248 does not buy lightweight, but it will apparently buy you a pump track bike. The Mongoose story does not end there though, because while he came to ride the Mongoose PT26, it was another Mongoose that captured his attention. He got to ride Project Ledge X1 and loved it. I guess a double Mongoose win today, one modified, one stock. I'll try to come back to this PT26 in the future and get some more ride footage. In the meantime, comment below with your thoughts on this, about how it's equipped, and if you're into pump track bikes. Do you think what you get is fair for the $248 price? Let me hear your opinions. Also want to take a second to let you know that there's a link down in the description to this bike on the Walmart website, and also other links like my KevCentral website where you can buy stickers, shirts, and to the KevCentral Amazon bike parts page. Clicking those links helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Thanks so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. Have a great day.